I love that you brought up niche because we say this a lot that own a market and then go after the next. We learn so much by starting small, and starting small can be, a persona instead of two or three, or it can be a geographic area. There's all sorts of ways to look at that, but all too often we see that people are going way too broad to begin with, unless they've got gazillions of dollars to do it, which is not typical.
Right.
It just is not. But they still go way too broad. And the marketing budget, there's no way that it can sustain that, not even for a month or two.
Exactly. So classic. So, again, one of my most recent projects, we were all in on the Microsoft channel. That's who we're going after. We're going to Microsoft events. We're, in the Microsoft App Store. That was it, right? I'm targeting people who bought into the Microsoft world. And then my founder comes to me and says, I think we need to go after, Salesforce.
Mm.
Sure, we can, but we have to build a different back-end product. We need to get involved in a different set of channel partners. We need to, target different buyers. We need to, all the money we're spending over here times two, without the resources to do that. I think we really need to be focused, like you said, like, let's own this channel and let's really understand and deliver on that before we start to dilute that message, dilute the spend, dilute everything across the board.
And timing is everything. And it's not just timing of when you launch a product, but it's the timing of the buyer mindset as well. And and all too often, I think people push aside, even a tech product can have seasonality based on when a buyer is more apt to want to buy it or interact with it, or even start the sales, in the sales funnel versus not. What is your experience there?
Yeah. So I mean, we do kind of in this world of software and SaaS, it's a little bit easier. You don't have as much, but you're right. There are certainly seasonalities to it. I do have a fair bit of background on the hardware side of things and manufacturing and that sort of thing. And your design window might only be every 2 years or every 3 years. And so you come into a customer and they're like, we just went through a design upgrade for that part or for that component or for that system. We're not touching this for another 24 years or 24 months. So don't really bother. And, now you're talking about timing with friction and value. And unless your value is, 100-to-1 improvement kind of thing, they're just not that interested. It took a long time to get that thing built in and they're done. And I think a lot of times we think, I'm going to show up with my bag of parts and I'm going to put them on the table and you're going to say, great. My engineers have nothing to do other than to work on building this in or adding this component or whatever it takes. And, that it's a variability that's out there that I think people really sort of underestimate the complexity, certainly on the hardware side of the house.